we celebrate every single woman in the world for the work that they've done, but mostly we celebrate those who came before us. For we are here because of their bravery, because of their courage, because of their refusal to accept the status quo that was there then. They opened the door a little wider for those of us who are here today. And which is my message to everybody, that we are here for a reason and a season. And while we are here, we have a duty to each other. We must create a space for the people who are coming after us. We must create a space for those around us to come into their full potential. Do more than celebrate, do something meaningful to mark the ones who came before you. But while on this, I also have a message for the men, because this, when I talk about females' rights or women's rights, this is not a women's rights issue. This is a human rights issue. It affects all of us. So I also want to celebrate all the men out there who choose to fight for women's rights, because at all times you're celebrating your mother, your wife, your daughter, your sister. You have many women in your life that you celebrate, and you choose to support this issue of gender equality. So I salute both men and women in the bank and outside. The biggest landmines that happen and are effective barriers are the barriers that we walk around in our minds. When you believe, I think it's Henry Ford who said, whether you believe you can or cannot, you're right in either case. So it starts with your frame of mind. It starts with your belief system. And that's where the single biggest barriers lie. That when we start to believe that we can't, or that we are less than, or that we are incapable, or that we don't deserve, we start to hold ourselves back. And our dreams pale in comparison to our fears, and thereby leaving us behind. So the single biggest barrier I want to talk about is the mental barrier. We break it down every day. We debunk those myths every single day. Anyone who tells you a woman can't run IT, I invite you to go talk to Judith Mbabazi. Anyone who thinks a woman can't do data, go find Rachel in data. Anyone who thinks a woman can't do credit, go talk to Gladys in credit. So there are so many examples of women in the bank, everyday examples that show you that whatever you want to do, you can. Your dreams are valid and your dreams are possible. You just have to take the leap. There is no space that we say this is for women only or this is for men only. What we do is to create a space where there is equal opportunities. And we celebrate meritocracy. Equal opportunity, level the playing field, let the best man or woman for that matter win, right? And that is really, really critical. Having said that, what we're seeing on our transformation journey, Patrick left us on this trajectory to transform. And part of what you see are seeds that he planted when he was here. We just take that and water it and get new products. And what we've seen is a much more mindfulness about the products we put out, is a much more deliberate effort in how we interact with our customers. You're seeing a space where we never put a product out on the shelf and leave it. We're now collecting data about that product and coming back and changing it and taking it back. So we're tirelessly improving. And this is why you see things like the circle. But we're also becoming a better listener as a bank to our customers. We listen and obey to the customer. And the customer comes and says, listen here, the economy in the last 2 years has gone through a depression. People have depleted their savings. We need a product. We need something, an intervention that will help the bottom of the pyramid. We as a bank sit back and say, let's listen, let's obey, and come up with a product like our circle proposition. It is changing lives. It is breaking barriers. So far, in less than a year of existence, we have touched 1 million Ugandans through our circle proposition. By lending to 120 circles, we're touching and impacting over 1 million Ugandans. Now that is impact. That is impact. When we talk about FlexiPay, being able to bank at the bottom of the pyramid, but bank them meaningfully, in a language they understand, at a price they can afford, in an area they can access. That is meaningful innovation and disruptive in a positive, and transformational in a positive nature. The same is true for all these other new capabilities we're putting in, whether it's data, whether it's Salesforce, whether it's our DTO. Everywhere you go, you will see innovation, but it's mindful innovation. And we continue to drive this, to say that all we have to do as leaders is to create an environment where feel free to experiment, try something new, question what is happening. And in all this, the single biggest ingredient is curiosity. And curiosity comes with, I have to be free enough to be curious. So why are we doing this the way we're doing it? What if we change? And that is where it all comes together, to say that what we are putting out and what we'll continue to put out from a product point of view, well thought out CVPs that seek to answer to what the questions that the customers are asking of us, to the questions that our nation is asking of us. And we are playing at a high level, guys. Uganda is our home. We drive her growth. That is no mean feat. It's not a small ambition. We can't play Kampala Kids League. No, we are in the championship because we are playing a national game. We are making a difference at a national level. Greatness at its core is stepping outside of yourself and doing things that are bigger than you as an individual. And that starts with believing that you can. I talk a lot about self-belief because everything lives and dies on that's within you. So all the work, the first point is the work you do within you, is to believe that I can do it. And now that you believe that you can, you go ahead and do it. So when we talk about greatness, we talk about doing things that are bigger than you, thinking about creating space for those who come after you to do better and bigger things than you did. Those who are around you to handhold so that you rise as you lift. Yeah, so that you don't leave those around you behind. Talk about inclusive growth, talk about creating opportunities, talk about learning and sharing and teaching those around you so they can be better. So when I think about greatness, I think about at a very micro level, I think about reaching out and touching somebody. I think about creating room. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I'm here because there were brave women who came before me and broke some barriers and created a way for me. I have a duty to those people, that I will leave the door a little wider, that I'll create more space and see to it that more women and men for that matter come through these doors and do better. And by extension, at a macro level, greatness is driving this country to a different space. I want to thank you for the support you give to the women in your lives. Be they your colleagues, be they your partners, be they your family members. Thank you for doing that. But I also want to especially encourage you to think about those at the bottom of the pyramid who are unseen, unheard. There is something you can do to make a meaningful difference in their lives. Please do it.